Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Paul, wishing you a very happy new year for this 2020. And I thought I'd produce this little short video that I've been meaning to do as part of my monthly release that sort of takes a look at some stuff that I find in my research from time to time, which I think you guys might get a lot out of. While my focus for this channel and my Patreon page is to use Blender to create comics more effectively and efficiently, and to really harness the tools of this 3D software to push 2D illustration into new areas, I of course get loads of questions and requests about animation and games, and for some reason programming. Don't know why. And these are areas which I'm not really an expert in. So I've compiled this small list of videos and pages and stuff that I've discovered in my travels in 2019, which fall outside the scope of this channel, but I think ultimately which many of you would find extremely helpful. So I'm just going to show you a quick selection of these sort of things. Let's jump in and take a look. So the first channel that I came across was this one for, I'm really hoping I'm pronouncing this right, Mason Hosseini, who does a lot of what appears to be production work. And he released a couple of really interesting videos, such as this one using Blender and Grease Pencil for motion comics. No doubt you've seen this little motion comic sort of crop up on your feeds if you're anything like me into Grease Pencil and Blender and stuff like that. It is an amazing bit of work. Maysim really does a really good job of sort of showing you the breakdown in videos such as this. But he's also got some other videos on his channel. There's this magic Grease Pencil cube tutorial that he's got on here as well. And when I saw this, there was an effect that I wanted to do for my showreel, and I sort of looked at this and I sort of went through his steps, and it really helped me sort of to get this effect going for some really nice parallax type effects inside of each comic frame. And in this video, he actually shows sort of how it's done. It's a fantastic channel to take a look at, and I really recommend taking a look through a lot of his stuff. He's got some really great tips and hints that I think a lot of you will get a lot out of. Now, a guy that I've followed for a long time, David Arroyo, he did a video in which he sort of showcased my little pod model that I use for showcasing my manga shader. And he sort of used that as an example to sort of show how he does concept art. You know, he does storyboards and comic pages and all that sort of stuff. And in his videos, he really shows how he uses Blender and Grease Pencil to set up his storyboards or comics. His stuff is amazing to look at, and I really recommend checking his stuff out. Now, of course, one guy that I came across recently is Curtis Holt, and you obviously know him if you've done anything with generative modeling or Python script. Curtis, I believe his background is in programming, and he's invented things such as this mech generator or the space station generator. He's got this thing called Bygen, which is a plugin which sort of generates random objects very quickly. It's one of those channels where you have to sort of ask yourself, how far down the rabbit hole do you want to go? So his is a channel also that I would highly recommend. Now, one guy which I think you guys would definitely want to check out is Raymond Crypts. He's got this Project Feline indie game devlog, and in it, he is documenting using Blender and the Unreal Engine. Now, I know a lot of you guys are Unity guys, but this, I believe, has got a lot of parallels with Unity, and it will also give you an idea of just how fiddly it is to create something that looks like anime for a game. Now, I've checked out some of his videos. While he does some really great modeling and great rigging and all that sort of stuff, porting from Blender to Unreal seems to basically involve replicating the node setups in Blender for his particular toon shader inside the Unreal Engine. And while that looks fiddly, it's pretty much the only way to do it so far that I'm aware of. But he's done a really great job of creating this character and making it look toon shaded in the Unreal Engine. And while I'm not a games person, for you guys who are into games and that sort of thing, I reckon you want to sort of check out his devlog videos and see the work he is doing. Now, from time to time on Facebook, I follow certain artists. In this case, Micah Sozo, I think that's how you pronounce her name. She gets kind of upset if you pronounce it wrong. But every now and then she will share pages with artwork from places that she's looked at, which sort of has that kind of anime feel. And this particular page from a page called The Geek Tower is a fantastic resource for things like smoke and explosions. Now, why am I showing you this resource? Well, the reason is that by studying how explosions and flames and all that sort of stuff are drawn digitally or by hand, this has a very direct correlation with things like grease pencil. Now, while you want to simulate things in 3D, and there are ways to do it, getting the fundamentals down is so important. And if you can learn how to replicate these sorts of designs inside of grease pencil, even for you animators out there, doing something like this in sort of like a 3-stage build-up with all of the tools in grease pencil, you can very quickly build up an asset library of grease pencil assets that are going to look fantastic. They're going to look just like anime, and they work really well with 3D art. So I highly encourage you to take a look at stuff like this. Of course, I'll link this particular post, as well as the page for the Geek Tower, which does fantastic tutorials and does some really great speed painting for anime, and all of this stuff can be replicated inside of Blender using the grease pencil. That's how I kind of learn how to create and recreate sort of anime style characters and effects. So there's just some stuff to look at which sort of goes beyond the scope of this particular channel and my particular niche, I guess, but which I think you guys might get a lot of out of. I've provided links to all of those YouTube channels and pages and all that sort of stuff in the notes below. Now, of course, if you have any suggestions, feel free to put them in the comments of this video or get in contact with me via the usual channels. I'm always interested in showcasing more stuff. And also let me know if you want this sort of to be a continual kind of video that I produce each month and put up here on YouTube and Patreon. So thanks for watching, guys. Welcome to 2020. Happy New Year from me to you. And see you again real soon. Bye for now.